Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Athletics franchise here on MLB The Show at 24, as today we'll continue through the month of May. Starting off the episode here at home at Las Vegas, where the 17-22 Athletics will host the 19-22 Chicago Cubs, two teams that are underneath 500 that expected better things at the beginning of the season. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. On the mound for the Athletics today will be Mackenzie Gore, signed the 3-year, $30 million contract in the offseason. Has had a couple of bad starts in a row. His ERA is up to 4.81 now, trying to send that back down with a good start today. He'll start with the 2025 All-Star Seiya Suzuki, who starts the afternoon by swinging through a fastball for strike three. That'll bring up Trenton Grisham, a 3-time Gold Glover, and the designated hitter today for the Cubs, who pops up a pitch behind home plate. And it's a good start for Mackenzie Gore as he gets the first two outs. And we'll take a look at how the Cubs will line up today. Up next, we'll see Luis Robert in center. Dansby Swanson at short, career 231 home runs, putting together nice power numbers in his career. Jesus Sanchez in left, Jorge Polanco at second, Matt Mervis the first baseman, Francisco Mejia behind the plate, and then Brendan Davis out and right. Here is Luis Robert, the two-time All-Star, who is a big storyline at last year's trade deadline, but he flies out here to center. And that'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Mackenzie Gore, and up for the Cubs on the mounds will be another big addition that they've acquired in the offseason. Pablo Lopez, the former Twin, comes over on a 2-year, $46 million contract. He'll start out today against the two-time All-Star Tyler Soderstrom, leading off despite hitting sub 200, as he will foul off a pitch here to bring it to a full count to begin the afternoon. As Lopez will line up, and Soderstrom right back to him. A beautiful play by Lopez to throw him out at first base. We'll take a look at how the Athletics line up today. A little bit different. A couple guys getting the days off. We'll see Elliott and Wright at second. Kevin Alcantara at center. Ryan Noda at first. Zach Gell at the DH. Jacob Wilson at third base. Richie Veach getting the start at second today. Elliott Ramos in left. And Logan Davis in his first game of the season out at short. Here is Elliott hitting .309 on the season. He's been probably the pleasant surprise on the offense. This year with an 0-1, he hits it down the third base line. That's going to be a fair ball. The first hit of the afternoon recorded by Clark Elliott. That'll bring up Kevin Alcantara, the former Cub acquired in the offseason in a trade that sent Mika Bell to Chicago. And playing his former team, he's going to take a full count fastball into right field, and that's back-to-back singles here for the Athletics as Elliott goes all the way to third. Now a runner in scoring position for the four-hole hitter today, and Ryan Noda, who's been very clutch when needed to be this season. 228 average has been climbing. It was sub 200 not that long ago. And he delivers again. Another single into left field. It's an RBI for Las Vegas. And the Athletics strike first 1-0. Still only one down the inning as Zach Geloff playing DH today will swing at a fastball inside. Turns on it well, but doesn't have the carry. It'll be flown out and caught by Jesus Sanchez. But Alcantara will tag and go to third. So again, runners on the corners for Jacob Wilson, our all-star from last year. Leads the team with home runs and RBI 720 respectively. And with the 1-2 though, he misses a fastball and that'll end the first. Go top two now, where the two-time all-star Dansby Swanson is up for the Cubs, and he'll start the afternoon by drawing a walk. So he'll take first base, and that'll bring up Jorge Polanco, who we know pretty well from his tenure with the Mariners the past 4 seasons. 0-2 pitch to Polanco, and he'll hit it up the middle for a base hit. Outfield playing back, so Swanson's going to take third base with ease. Now there's runners on the corners for the Cubs with one down. That'll bring up the first baseman, Matt Mervis, hitting .224. 0-2 pitch, pops it up into left. Ramos comes in charging, and he'll make the grab. Swanson's not sent, so now 2 down. We just need one more, and it's got to come against Francisco Mejia, who's been hitting really good for the Cubs. 1-2 pitch to the catcher, and he gets plunked inside. Fastball or a slider runs in. And now bases loaded for the right fielder, Brendan Davis, playing his 14th career game in the big leagues. 3-0 pitch to him, and he walks on 4 pitches. Gore walks in a runner, doesn't even challenge Davis. That's the third free base runner of the inning, and now it's 1-1 for Seiya Suzuki, who pops up a 3-1 fastball into left. Cubs will tie it, but I have to think the Athletics did dodge a bullet there in the second. We'll go bottom two now. Richie Veach leading off here for the Athletics. Hasn't played in a lot of games this year despite spending all season with the big league club as he strikes out on a fastball in the hands. Going to bring up Ramos, hitting only 178 average-wise, but having a better power season for him with 5 home runs. And he goes down on a nasty 12-6. Beautiful pitch there by Lopez. 2 down now for Logan Davison, playing in his first game of the season. Started the year with the Aviators, played pretty good, got the call. And now he's batting 1,000 as he singles through the left side of the infield to get 1 on for the second inning. Top of the lineup up next, Soderstrom with a changeup down the middle, hits a high chopper to first, but a great play by Mervis to grab it. We'll go to top 3 now, 2 down for Dansby Swanson, who turns on a curveball, hits this one high and deep to left. Ramos goes back, but he runs out of space, and that's a solo home run for Dansby Swanson, the former 2015 number 1 overall pick out of Vanderbilt. Hits another homer here, adding to that career total we saw at the beginning of the episode, and more importantly, giving the Cubs a lead now 2-1. Go bottom 5 now. Soderstrom leads off for the A's, and he'll get that one back. Turns on a fastball deep to right field. See ya as that one flies into the seats. A solo Soder pop for Tyler Soderstrom. Shout out Toby Rohr in the comments for pointing that term as he hits his 6th home run of the season. And just like that, we're back to square one, all knotted up at 2 apiece here in the desert. Going to the 6th inning now, where Garrett Whitlock, the former Blue Jay, will be on the mound for the A's. Has had a rough couple of weeks. ERA up to 2.67 now on the season. He'll start this inning against Luis Robert, the now $208 million man, who hits it over to Noda, who flips it over to Whitlock. Beautiful play on defense by the former Gold Glover. Brings up Dansby Swanson, who swings through a low sinker. Beautiful pitch by Whitlock. Doesn't even bother giving him a pitch to drive. And that brings up the former Red, Jesus Sanchez, who grounds it through the right side of the infield for a base hit. So now a runner on for the Cubs. And that'll do it for Whitlock. He had a long night in the last showing, so he's only going to face the minimum 3 batters. And now with the lefty Mervis up, we're going to bring in the lefty A.J. Puck. 2-2 here to actually Polanco up next, and he swings through the slur, and that will end the 6th. Going into the next half inning for the Cubs, they're also going to bring in a reliever, Luis Ortiz, who spent last year with Colorado, making his 6th appearance of the season for Chicago. He'll start with Geloff, who gets another fastball in, and he flies it out to Robert in center field. Quick one down now brings up Jacob Wilson, and he will go low for a fastball that clocks in at 100. He grounds it over to Swanson, who makes the play. 2 down now for Richie Veach, who does have a hit in tonight's game, and he also goes down on the fastball, and he also just dribbles it to short. That's a great inning for Luis Ortiz. Mason Miller will then come in later in this ball game, as he's played pretty solid for the A's thus far. He'll get the 8th inning, starting off with Trent Grisham to miss on a low cutter, and both pitching staffs really settling into this ball game. That'll bring up Luis Robert, who was traded to the Dodgers at the deadline last year for only a couple months' rent. Signed a 7-year, $208 million contract with the Cubs in the offseason, and he misses the slider here. Hitless day for Robert. 2 down now for Swanson, full count, and he draws a walk. Lays off the slider, so Miller will put one aboard here in the 8th. Jesus Sanchez, who can drive the baseball up next, but he swings to a fastball, frustrated with himself. That'll end the inning. We'll go into the 9th now. There's 2 down, but you can see in the background there is a runner on second. So we're going to turn over to Barlow to try to get the final out of the frame and strand that runner. He throws one pitch to Brennan Davis, and he'll do just that as he grounds it out to Davis. An easy half inning for Barlow. We'll go bottom 9 now, where the Cubs are actually going to bring in their closer, 4-time All-Star Jose Alvarado. Not a save situation, but obviously you want to keep the game at a tie game and send this one to extras. Zach Geloff leads off once more for the A's, and again he goes down on the inside pitch. That's been his Achilles heel in tonight's game. Jacob Wilson up next, single back in the 4th, has been his only hit today, as there has been 7 out of the 9 Athletics do have hits in this game, but he's not going to get a hit here, so he grounds out to second base, and now there's 2 down for Richie Veach, trying to keep this game alive, and he hits the sinker well, but it's right at the center fielder, Robert. And we're going to go to extra innings, all knotted up at 2 apiece, so it's time for some free baseball. And we go into the 10th, Barlow's still on the mound, and the Cubs are going to waste no time driving in that extra innings runner. It's a double for Seiya Suzuki. Cubs now lead 3-2, and they swap places. Trent Grisham now up next. 1-1 pitch to him, and he will lace this one into center, and this is trouble as it's going to hit off of the wall in center. Alcantara will get to it, but it's another double for the Cubs. They now lead 4-2, building into this lead. Still nobody out. Luis Robert up next. Hits it down the third base line. That one is fair. Ramos will get to it. And that's going to be 3 straight doubles for the Cubs, and 3 straight runners will score. It's now 5-2, and there's still nobody out. Dansby Swanson up next, 0-2. He pops it up into left center. This should be the first out of the inning. As Alcantara will get to it, but Robert will look to tag. Going to third, the throw is not in time, so it's a sac fly, moves the runner up the third base. Sanchez up next, misses a fastball, or a slider I should say. Pops up behind home plate. That's a much needed out. Now just trying to get one more and keep it a 3-run deficit. It's Jorge Polanco who walks on 4 straight pitches, and Barlow has completely lost it. He will be yanked. Matt Mervis will come up next, but we'll turn it over to our closer, the rookie out of Miami. Our first-round pick last year, Bartolo Ayala, just trying to strand the runners and get the final out. He has Mervis up next, a lefty-lefty situation, but Mervis will do the job for Chicago. Scores another. It's now 6-2 Cubs. Can we do it against Francisco Mejia, who's been arguably one of the hottest bats for the Cubs this season? And no, we will not. He'll bloop this one into the outfield grass. It's now 7-2 Cubs. This game has fallen apart for the Athletics here in the 10th inning. Brennan Davis, the 9th batter of the inning, will finally strike out. But the damage has been done. Chicago up 7-2. And we're just going to go to the end of this one. That is the same score. That ends this game as the Cubs win it 7-2, a 5-run win. And this game went to extra innings. So Chicago takes game 1 of this 3-game set. They get their 20th win of the season while we've dropped to 17-25. And an embarrassment to end the game. The pitching, Barlow in particular, was just flat out awful. And we didn't even give our offense really a chance in the 10th inning. Play of the game is Dansby Swanson hit the tying homer back in the 3rd. And just again, all around, just a not so good performance here for the Athletics. Game 2, we also dropped 3-2. Jones went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned. Continues to be inconsistent. Mika Bell had a great game against us. So now we dropped the first 2 to Chicago. Your Tuesday game of the week is the Giants and the Dodgers, where San Francisco gets a win in 10 innings with a walk-off in the 10th. And San Francisco's been playing good ball. Looks like they might be getting aggressive in terms of the trade deadline. Hint, hint. Las Vegas does win Game 3 against Chicago 4-0, so at least we do get a win. Waldichuk goes 5 1/3, no earned run ball. That's what we need to see. As now we'll head to Houston to face the 24-21 Astros. And so here we are at the newly renamed Dakin Park in Houston for this 3-game set as we hit the road for a pair of divisional series, as we have not faced a lot of divisional opponents this season, so this is a good chance to try to make up some ground in the AL West as we come in 18-26. Has not been a good month of May for the Athletics. The chance to turn that around here is the Astros rocking their orange alternates. I like these uniforms a lot. We'll start off on the mound with Taj Bradley making his 10th appearance, who has now actually become the #1 pitcher in this rotation. If Houston has a problem, their pitching is not necessarily that good. Bryson Stott back in the lineup today, and he goes down on a full count changeup, a pitch he should have definitely taken for a walk. That'll bring up Robbie Martin, the other guy we didn't see in the series part against the first half of the episode, where he actually singles into right field, so the first base runner of the day will be Robbie Martin. 0-2 counting up next for Tyler Soderstrom, and he gets plunked. Curveball runs in and maybe grazed him. So now 2 on for the A's, a chance to do something with it, but Alcantara will pop this up behind home plate, where we'll be caught by Yainer Diaz. And we'll take a look at how the Athletics line up today. A little bit different than how we saw in the Cubs matchup. We'll see Alcantara, Noda up next, Geloff at DH again, Clark Elliott in the 7th spot today, Jacob Wilson at 3rd, and then Elliot Ramos in left. This team's only scored 154 runs this year. That's last in the American League. We need some help offensively. Ryan Noda up next gets a curveball hung, and he hits it up the middle, but somehow a play is made. I thought for sure that was going to be a base hit. Instead, it's an out number 3. Robbie Francisco on the mound for the Athletics, making his 3rd start of the season. Started off in the bullpen, has made 2 starts this year, has a 6.75 ERA in those 2 starts, so it hasn't been necessarily that great. But he's going to get the start here, and he's got to start off against the reigning AL batting champion, Kyle Tucker, who hit .359 a year ago to win that award, and Francisco is going to give him nothing to hit. So he walks on 4 pitches. The only problem with doing that now is that Houston has Brandon Marsh behind him, who came over from Philadelphia on a 7-year contract. And with a 2-2, he's going to rip this into left. He'll make you pay if you walk Tucker off of the scoreboard. It's a double for Marsh. 2 runners in scoring position. and it only gets worse from here. Up next is the reigning AL MVP, Yordan Alvarez, who hit 42 home runs last year to also win the home run award. You got to somehow get him out with 2 runners on board, and he swings and misses. So Francisco gets him to swing wildly the curveball. Much needed out will bring up Yainer Diaz, the 3-time Silver Slugger, who's become the standard bearer of the catcher position. Full count pitch here, and he delivers with a single up the middle, and Houston will score the first 2 of the ball game. A 2 RBI single for Diaz. That'll bring up Vinny Pasquantino up next, acquired via trade last year from the Royals to be the new first baseman. And Francisco keep this somewhat close. 2-2. This one's hit well into right. Elliott goes back at the track, at the wall, and he just has enough space. I thought that one was going to leave the yard. Instead, it stays in for out number 2. We'll take a look at how the Astros will line up today. Second half of the order. We'll see Chas McCormick up next, followed by Jeremy Pena. Mitch Jebb at second base and Zach DeZenzo at third. Kyle Tucker, we talked about, the reigning AL batting champion, has struggled, though, the past couple of weeks, only hitting 190 in his past 10 games. Here comes the center fielder, Chas McCormick, hitting 291 on the season. He's been pretty good for the Stros, but he looks at strike 3 here. Nice splitter there, gets him 2-0 after a frame. We'll go bottom 2 now. Finished up with the Astros lineup. Jeremy Pena up next, the 2022 World Series and playoff MVP, who has not had a good 2028, but he singles to begin the second as that one drops in front of Elliott. Zach DeZenzo up now after Jebb was out. He inherits the runner on first with 1 down, and he pops up into right. So Francisco will get the next 2 to go down. And now we just need 1 more out, but it's Kyle Tucker. Full count pitch, and Tucker will walk again. Francisco tried to challenge him. He ends up walking him, and that'll bring up Brandon Marsh, who made you pay earlier for doing that exact same thing. Full count pitch to him, too, and he also draws a walk. Now, that's what you can't do. You can't walk Tucker and Marsh because now you load the bases for Yordan Alvarez. You struck him out back in the first, but can you get him out a second time? The MVP steps to the plate. First pitch, he's swinging, rips it to left. Ramos goes back, but he makes the grab. And disaster has been avoided here in the bottom of the second. We'll go top 5 now. Geloff leads off for the A's. He gets a hanging curveball, and he makes Taj Bradley pay. That one crushed into the left field. Seats a solo home run for Zach Geloff, his 3rd home run of the season. We've seen the power numbers decline rapidly for Geloff the past couple of seasons, but if you give him a curveball like that right down the middle, he will still take advantage as it's now 2-1 Astros. We'll go into the 5th inning now, where Francisco was good after the first inning, I would say. He settled down, and we'll bring in the former Cardinal A.J. Puck in relief. He starts off against a pair of lefties. First off, Brandon Marsh, who turns on a fastball, but it quickly dies out in right for out number 1. That'll bring up Alvarez up next, who's hitless today. 1-1, tries to beat the shift over to third, but Jacob Wilson has other plans. A beautiful defensive effort gets him at first base. So a nice out makes it now 2 down for Yainer Diaz, who will single up the middle, as Alcantara will get to it. And Diaz actually gets aggressive, tries to get 2, and he's out by a mile. Not sure what he was thinking about. Alcantara was a little lazily getting to that ball, but it actually works out in his favor. And that'll be how the 5th ends, is now Mason Miller in relief here in the 6th. Just has to get 1 out. It's Jeremy Pena, and on the first pitch he throws, he'll pop him up. So an easy inning of work for Miller, as that will end the 6th. We'll go now into the 7th, where Sir Anthony Dominguez in relief for the Astros, who spent last year with the Phillies. As that's 6 strong innings out of Taj Bradley. It'll be Alcantara leading off, and he will slap it into right field for a single. That's what he does well. So he takes first base to begin the inning. Noda up next with a 2-2. Looks at strike 3. That is definitely a ball in my book. Noda disagrees, but the umpire rules it a strike. Zach Geloff now up next as he steps into the batter's box. The first pitch, Alcantara is going. It's a hit and run that fails, and running on Diaz is a bad idea. He's easily gunned down at second, so now there's 2 down. And the next pitch, Geloff would single into center, so the hit and run was a little bit unnecessary as it results in a free out for the Stros. Elliott now up next trying to keep the inning alive, and he does just that as he draws a walk, and Dominguez will actually be taken out of the game and replaced for another former Philly in Wander Suero, who steps in trying to get the final out here of the 7th inning. He has to do it against Jacob Wilson. A 2-0 pitch to the third baseman, and he chops it over to short. And a beautiful effort by Pena, and he gets him at first base, showing off the leather. That ends the 7th. We'll now go into the 8th inning where Jose Leclerc, another former Philly, will step in relief. He's trying to get one out here in the 8th inning with a runner on first. Soderstrom gets a changeup, times it well, but it dies out in left center, and that will end the 8th. We'll go bottom 8 now. We'll bring in Garrett Whitlock again. You can see runners on board, and he only needs to get one out and strand the runners that are on base, try to keep it a 1-run deficit. He's got to do it against Pena, and he will. Gets it a ground out to Noda. That will end the 8th, which means it'll be a 1-run deficit into the 9th, and the Astros will bring out their closer, another former Philly. We know the Phillies have had a great pitching staff for a couple of seasons, and the Astros decided they want all of them. It's Adbert Alzolay, who has not been a good closer, but he's going to get the chance here for his 13th save. 4, 5, 6 hitters up. Alcantara again trying to single into right, but this time it's gloved. It was ready from Vinny Pasquantino. Ryan Noda up next. Gets a fastball down the middle. Times it up well, but misses it. You got to take advantage of that pitch. Instead, it's 2 down, and the game's on the line for Zach Geloff. He's been our best hitter today. First pitch, grounder over to second. This will be gloved, and Jeb will make the throw, and that will do it. The Astros win Game 1 of this 3-game set in Houston by a final score of 2-1 as we drop to 18-27 on the season. The offense, again, just did not show up. You know, we only gave up 2 runs. It was 2 in the first, and the pitching staff shut down Houston the rest of the way. The offense only mustered 5 hits and only had 1 run to show for it. And of those 5 hits, only 1 was an extra base hit. It was the home run from Geloff. We just don't have a lot of power on this team, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed as we get closer to the deadline in the coming months if we want to make a move here in the American League. Friday night baseball games with the pair. The Nationals beat the Braves 8-0. It's not been a good year for Washington, but Tristan McKenzie with a complete game shutout 1-hitter. Also, Pittsburgh goes to the Angels and wins 9-0. The Pirates have done a very good job of sustaining success here in this series, as they are still one of the best teams in the National League. Going into Game 2, we win 2-1 of our own, as thanks to a back-to-back homers from Wilson and Ramos in the 8th inning, and a great start from Bieber. We tie up the series. On your Saturday games, the Rockies lose at home to the Royals 3-2. Colorado has been absolutely atrocious in this series, and their top storyline is what's going to happen with Nolan Jones. I think he gets traded this year. We'll have to see where he goes. Your Saturday night baseball in America game, the Red Sox beat the Rangers 7-4. 2 middle-of-the-pack teams trying to get it done. Devers hits another homer. We'll have to keep a look on his status as the season progresses. We win Game 3, 3-2. Back-to-back games with a homer for Ramos, as Gore had a good game as well, and we at least take the series in Houston, getting a little bit of momentum as we travel next to another division rival in the Angels before hosting the Tigers for a 3-game set. 2 teams underneath 500 in the American League, 2 series that we need to take advantage of if we want to try to righten this season as we get through the month of May. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have continued to enjoy this series. I know it's old, and I know it's over a year, and we're still not that good, but I appreciate all of the support with this series. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you drop that like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.